Okay folks, welcome back to the MCO Outdoor Show. Doing a bit of a wild camp on the West Pennine Moors. Don't really know where I'm going to go yet. I'm going to have a little bit of a drive round. Just dropped the kids off with the in-laws and we'll see where we get to. Should be a good one. Speak to you in a bit. The warnings about lightning. Please do not enter the wind farm during lightning conditions. If a lightning storm starts during your visit, please leave the site immediately. This is Curlew wind farm. I can imagine it's pretty bleak up here when the weather comes in. Okay, we've arrived at the destination. It's a little village, if you can call it that, called Peckett and the Robin Hood Inn. I'm going to speak to the landlord just to see if I can leave my car here overnight. Obviously get a few pints and put some money in the pocket in that respect, so hopefully they'll say yes to that. And then, I don't know if you can see behind me, basically just head out over that moorland, try and find a footpath and see where to get to. So I'll go speak to the landlord and see whether they're on board. Okay, just at the Robin Hood Inn, spoke to the landlady and she's very kindly agreed to let me leave my car here overnight, which is very nice of them. Lovely pub, full of character, so I might have a couple of pints here and I'll get the gear and we'll head off. I'm not sure how we're going to make our way onto the moors, but we'll walk up this road and I'm pretty sure we'll come across a footpath before long. So weather's okay, the wind's picked up a little tiny bit, but that should be okay. Because temp wise, we've got the Vango Helium 100, the Superlight version, really low to the ground. It's like sleeping in a coffin, so there'll be no issue with the wind. Going past an old cemetery. That's it. We're off. Bag, ridiculous weight, and we're heading out into the unknown alone, which is what the best adventures are made of. So let's see what happens. Well, we're getting up in the middle of nowhere now, blowing a bit with this pack, ridiculous weight, but I haven't got the experience or the time, or nor am I prepared to make the effort to be one of these gram counters that, you know, everything's got to be as light as a feather. So just make do with what I've got, but it weighs an absolute ton. This is where I'm heading out, to the moors, hounds of the Baskerville country. So I'll keep trekking up to the highest point and I'll try and find some suitable ground to get pitched. So, but it's looking promising so far. Haunting call of a curlew. There's quite a few of them around here, and they must be nesting. It's a lovely sound. That's better than the sound of flaming iPhones pinging and washing machines beeping and cars going past any day. Right, we topped out onto the moor. There's this bridleway that runs the length of it, so it's finding somewhere suitable to pitch the little Vango Helium. I might explore a little bit up that way. This looks promising, and try and get on that highest point. But absolutely amazing. I mean, look at that. Now, as usual for the viewers, mixed it up with a few beers this time. I'll keep you in suspense until we've got the tent set up. But like all of my videos, won't be complete without a customary beer on the top. So yeah, I look forward to those. We've got a little bonus, little mini bottle of Rioja, so we'll be having that as well. So let's go and find somewhere to pitch. Enough of me rambling on. Right folks, here we are. We've got a bit of a depression, a bit of a hollow in the moor, and this is our base for the night. As you see, the main path is right over on the ridge line, and we just drop down into this bit of a hollow, which also protects us from the wind. So let's get the tent set up and get into relax mode. So this is what we're on, the Vango Force 10 Helium Superlight 100. Okay, we've got the tent set up. It's not the most remote spot because it's on a bridleway, so we've already had a few strange looks off a passive walker, but I've made sure I'm well out of the way. I'm off the track. You know, you can't see the tent really. You just see my bald head sticking up from probably from about 10 miles away. But here's our spot. Here's the tent set up. It's a great little tent, really light. I don't know the specs on it, but I'll put them at the bottom of the video. I'm 6 foot tall, so just about get in it really. So it's not the most comfortable night's sleep, but when you're sort of wild camping like this, it's all about the weight, and that's one of the lightest ones in my price range. So it's a brilliant little tent. The only bit I don't like is at the back, where it's not as taut. I think that's just the design of the tent really. There's no way that I know to tighten that. I'll try have a little fiddle around with the toggle there, but it's a great little tent. It's got the tension band system in to protect it when there's sort of strong winds and stuff like that. So that's it. About space for your pack down the side. I've brought my little DD Solo Tarp as well, so I'm going to set that up just in case it rains. I'll check the weather forecast. I don't think there's any forecast, to be fair. I mean, looking at the sky, it looks like it's going to stay nice and dry and bright, so I'll just tidy up around here, and then I'm going to lie down and shut my eyes and just relax. So. Okay folks, I'll just show you, we're all set up inside the tent now. That's home for the night. We've got the Vango Viper sleeping bag, Thermarest Neowear sleep mat, and a Mammoth or a Junglelock Air pillow, just for a bit of a lightweight pillow option. We've got Black Diamond Apollo lantern, and this was a good little buy from I think it was Aldi, just a power bank, 7,800 milliamp one. I think it was only a tenner, so you probably get about 5 or 6 charges of your mobile phone. And so I popped into that Winfield's outdoor store in Haslingden, and a bit of light reading because I'm going to be here for a while. It's only 20 to 4 now, so I've just had a bit of lunch, so I need to do something with me time. So a bit of light reading, SAS Survival Guide, very apt, and some Collins Book of Knots. So yeah, there's a boring alert going on there, and no doubt when my wife sees that, I'll get some form of abuse. But yeah, here we have it. There's not loads of room in this tent for storage and stuff like that, so I mean, when it gets to, you know, at night time, I'm just gonna I'm going to bring me pack in, but I've brought me DD tarp and I've got a couple of walking poles, so I'm going to try and get that set up just to cover the awning of the tent, just to give me a bit more flexibility in the event that it rains. But there's absolutely it's just a great spot. It's so picturesque, and it's just lovely. So we get the tarp set up, and I'll go and ascend the seat, and I might have a little early beer, just take in some of the views. We're going to do some time lapse later, like I say, and it's not going to be a great sunset because of the clouds, but at least we'll be able to capture something. So I'll speak to you in a bit. The hideous caterpillar of death. Don't know why that white pole's here, that's not mine. I'm going to take that out with me. Look at that. The creature from the Black Lagoon. That's going to hatch into some kind of, I don't know, something horrible that's going to take me away in the middle of the night, so I'll have to go and deposit that somewhere else. Let's go and have a look at the beer selection. Right, that's my little camera rest for the time being. Let's go and see what we've got. Right, here we go. This is what we're on tonight. Chilling nicely in the wind. We've got a Coniston Bluebird Classic. Bottle conditions, Bluebird bitter. Anyone who knows the beer knows what that's all about, but this is what it says. Bluebird is a fine session ale with a light golden colour. The intense resinous and spicy hop character, which is the beer's hallmark, is derived from the use of unusual quantities of English Challenger hops, each bale being individually and personally selected by the brewer. The malt is, of course, Maris Otter, fermented slightly warm to give a soft fruitiness with a faint hint of scented geranium. That's sort of like a poem, isn't it, to some degree? So that's the Coniston Bluebird Bitter. We had that after I got married in the Merewood Hotel overlooking Windermere. Well, the fella's got a bottle of that, so that was good. So, next up is no surprise, one of my favourites by Morehouse's Brewery. It's a bottle of Pendle Witch's Brew. Again, that's lovely. We do our annual October trip to the Pendle Inn, and that's always on draft. Touch wood at that time of year. So that's lovely, nice 5.1%. There's no taste and notes on that, other than just says a light golden beer, soft, crisp and bittersweet flavours. Doesn't need any description. It's absolutely brilliant. Not that the Coniston Bluebird does. And finally, just an old, classic, reliable Timothy Taylor's Landlord, a classic pale ale. It's on draft in a lot of places, but that's probably because it's good, drinkable, a nice session ale. Landlord is the classic pale ale, traditionally brewed using the finest Golden Promise malted barley, whole leaf hops and pure Knoll spring water. It's a full flavoured pale ale with a complex and hoppy aroma. It's won more major awards than any other beer, including 4 times as CAMRA Champion Beer of Britain. It's best drunk between 11 and 13 degrees Celsius. So we're going to let these chill for a bit, and so that's the beer selection, and it wouldn't be complete without a little bit of a bonus, so stand by. Brought up disaster, a cheeky bottle of Campo Viejo Rioja, so that'll go down nicely as the sun's setting. So it's time for some relaxation. I'm stopping talking, I'm stopping filming, I'm just going to chill out. Right, I'm going to set this up now, the DD Tarp Solo, and I'll set the camera to time lapse when I'm doing it. So there we have it, with a bit of perseverance, a couple of Chuckle Brothers moments, got the tarp up without too much messing around. Dead simple. It covers the door of the tent, so that if it starts pissing down in the middle of the night or in the morning when I want to get out, I don't have to get soaking wet. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. And if needs be, I can just alter the height of the trekking poles to just lift it above. For me, it's touching the ridge there, but I'm not particularly bothered about that. But yeah, happy days. So we've got a nice cooking area in the event the elements move in and it starts raining, but like you said, the forecast's good, so just adds that extra degree of security. And then if it does start raining, I don't have to, you know, start putting that up in the wet. So pleased with that. It's a DD Solo Tarp. Just for the food preparation later, and just in case there's any wolves that decide to come in the middle of the night, I brought the old SE3, which I use for a bit of food prep. Don't forget your knife law, folks. Cannot carry that in public without a reasonable excuse. Not that I'm going to give people a lecture on, you know, you should all know the law if you're carrying a knife. If your blade length's over 3 inches and it's not folding, it's a fixed blade like this, you cannot have that on your person in a public place without a reasonable excuse. Clearly, if anyone challenged me and said, why have I got this? Well, it's here for food preparation, and clearly, you know, I'm in the middle of the moors, wild camping, so that's fine. But if you ever were caught with anything like this, you know, walking down the high street, you wouldn't have a leg to stand on. You'd probably find yourself in a police cell and potentially with a criminal record. You've got to have a reasonable excuse for carrying this. So lecture over. Good bit of kit. I've done a previous unboxing video on this SE3 knife. Really good. I got put onto it by another channel that are watching, like Hayes Outdoors. He's got this knife, and it's absolutely brilliant. I've not sharpened it yet because I haven't used it enough really, but other than the blade being carbon steel, which means you've got to take a little bit more care with it because it can rust, especially if you get it wet. You just give it a wipe down with an oily rag or some 3-in-1, or, you know, you can get special wipes for it. Just use a bit of 3-in-1 oil just once you've used it. But applications like this where you're going to need to be cutting bits of rope and tying knots and opening packets and stuff, well, you're not going to be bringing a pair of scissors with you up here, are you? So, you know, you'll need something like this. And also, if I get attacked by a wolf in the middle of the night, it might just save me life. Been put onto a bit of journey, courtesy of Gary Thomas, educating me in my musical tastes. Got a lot to learn. Right, here's a little walk out just to show you my immediate surroundings. Yeah, there's still not a soul in sight. You know, there's some probably about three miles away over there on the skyline. There's some houses, but not going to be disturbed by anyone tonight. There's a bit of a, looks like a turret. I think it's a grouse, like a grouse hut. Something they use in grouse shooting season in days gone by. It's 6:15, and it's I think it's time to fire up one of those meals on some rice and crack open the first beer. So let's get to it. Right, so what are we cooking on? Gonna go with the MSR reactor stove set up there. I've mentioned this loads of times, I'm not going to go over it again, but it's a burner head standard gas cylinder screw on, and the pot pan assembly with the lid, integrated sort of steam vent there. And this is what we've got. This is our selection. It's look what we found, available in Tesco and probably other well-known supermarkets. But we've got a chicken tikka, we have a beef meatballs in tomato and herb sauce, and some chicken tikka with tomato and coconut. Snacks, we've got other bits and bobs as well, some nice Marmite cashew nuts, and we've got some Uncle Ben's single serving boil in the bag rice, which takes minutes. So what we're going to do is go with the tikka. I've got 2 tikkas, I thought I'd got a corn as well, so that'll fit in there as well as the rice, and then we can just use the leftover water for a coffee or something like that. So get it fired up, and we'll come back to you when it's cooking along. Right, that's the stove lit. One thing you've obviously got to be careful of up here is there's loads of moorland fires. Some of them are obviously caused naturally, however a lot of them are caused by carelessness, discarded cigarettes, glass bottles, you know, having a magnifying glass type effect. So it goes without saying, when you're up here, this type of ground, well, it can burn underground for literally days. There's been some massive moorland fires up here, so you just got to make sure you're responsible, and that you know, especially around fire and things like that. So I know it goes without saying, some people take that for granted, but it's just all about looking after the environment that we like to be out in. So that's bubbling away nicely now. The rice takes 10 minutes, so I think that meal's already cooked. So after 10 minutes rice time, we'll be good to go. I think we're going to start the evening with a Timothy Taylor's Landlord. So cheers. So we're here on the Landlord, and I've never had it out of a bottle before, so let's see what we think. It's nectar. It's a lot more carbonated, smoother on draft, but it hits the spot a bit more as well, so that'll go down nicely with the old tea. Temperature's dropping a bit. I got this little set, just picked this up. It was 11 quid. I don't know if it's titanium, it's T6 alloy, hard anodised, whatever that is. It feels lighter than aluminium, but I think it's titanium anyway. It's made by Cedar Summit. You get a knife, a fork and a spoon, which all sit together. You've all got it's got like a hole stamped at the end of each piece, and a little carabiner to keep them all together and put it on your bag. So another good gadget like that. I was going to get a titanium spork, but they didn't have any, so we see how these hold up. But they look great, and they're really well finished, nice and light. So there we have it. Couple of quid from Tesco, boiling the bag rice, get it all mixed up in there. We've got a lovely chicken tikka. I'm going to go and take this, sit on my viewpoint and enjoy my tea with a beer. Well folks, my view is, and I'm not saying it is, I'm saying my view is, that is a lot nicer than any of those Wayfarer sachets. And I am partial to the odd Wayfarer, especially the beans and sausage ones, but you won't be able to see properly, I don't think, because it's shooting into the light. But it's, you know, it's proper. There's proper chicken and ingredients in this. It's only a tikka, but it's quite spicy. But I've looked at the ingredients on the back, and there's no artificial crap from what I can see. So at less than half the price on tasting like this, I ain't buying a Wayfarer's meal ever again. So if you've never tried one, check them out. The Look What We Found range. It's on a website as well. I don't know why I'm plugging everyone today, but it's lookwhatwefound.co.uk. Check it out, because I won't be looking back from these from now on. That's all I'll be having. Here we go. Moving on to the bluebird. I'm going to sit and enjoy this now. Nectar. It's getting on for 20 to 9 now, so I'm just going to head up to the top of the ridge, if you can call it that, and film the sunset. You can hear the curlews probably walking past the nesting site here, but there's a bit of a trig point on top there, so we're going to set the GoPro on that to do a bit of time lapsing of the sunset. So fingers crossed, should be pretty spectacular. So let's get on up there. Well, here we are at a trig point, looking across there to some reservoir to which I don't know the name, and just look at that, spectacular. So our tent is somewhere down there, completely camouflaged, which is good. That's the whole idea of it. And wow, that's just brilliant. Absolutely spectacular. I don't really want to talk on this bit because I'm going to spoil the shot, but it speaks for itself. This is absolutely unbelievable. Look at that. Just stunning. Get a bit of time lapse on the go with the GoPro. I'm not sure what interval's best for that. Maybe someone can enlighten me. Goes from like half a second all the way up to 60-second picture intervals, so it's just there's like a calm descending on the moor. The skylarks are no longer in the air. There's a couple of swallows knocking round. You can just hear, you may be able to pick up with this microphone, just that curlew knocking round over there. And just really nice and calm and peaceful now. It's quite cold, there's a bit of wind chill, but nothing unbearable. The tent is all the way back down there in that area, and as I said, you can't see it, so it's all about blending in. You don't want to be coming somewhere like this with like a bright orange tent, like some kind of imbecile standing out from the flaming ISS or something. So yeah, I'm going to wait for that sun to get a little bit lower and then try and record this sunset, which is spectacular. Well, that's it folks, that's it for the sunset. Hope that time lapse turned out okay. My fingers and extremities are absolutely freezing cold, but it was well worth the effort. So we're losing the light now, it's getting pretty spooky, especially considering the sell-by date on this beer is the 31st of October and it's a witch's brew, so I think that's a sign. Before the flaming hound of the basketballs gets loose, I'm going to head back to the tent and try and warm up and get out of this wind. But that was one of the most spectacular sunsets that I've ever witnessed, so I can't wait to see what that turns out like. Completely alone now, the flaming moors, and anything could happen. It's quite eerie now, the curlews as well. You can just hear them echoing across the moorland. There's a particularly noisy one behind me, making a different noise now. And again, that's probably a sign that I'm going to get eaten by a pack of rabid wolves. So yeah, spooky times. Need some red wine and some nuts, and we get the lantern on. So let's get back to the tent. Well folks, it's too cold, so I've got into the coffin, aka the Helium Superlight 100 from Vango. Yeah, so just having a nice little bit of Rioja. It's got to be done, even when you're in your own coffin. I've got a few few scary text messages off people telling me to look out for axe murderers and stuff like that. It's good to know I've got the support of my friends as usual. So this is the view outside. So it is sort of like kind of the basketball's territory now. I'm just going to leave my bag out there for the night. It's under the tarp, which was a good idea by me, I think. So that's it. I'm going to read some more of the Not book, and then a bit of the SAS survival guide, and just review some of the clips I've taken. And that's it. I'm going to get some nice kit and listen to the sound of the curlews and the skylarks. Hopefully wake me up in the morning if I'm still alive. Hopefully still be here in the morning. I'm sure I will. Stop being melodramatic. I'm sleeping in a tent on the moors, who cares, so what? Anyway, yeah, see you in the morning. Well, folks, I'm to get a coffee on. Painful night's sleep, back, but good experience. So we get this coffee on, get functioning, have a little just a little rest for a bit, and then we'll pack away the tent and make sure there's no trace that I've been here. Right, we're just having the last brew, tidying up camp, the tarp down. We'll have this last coffee, put the tent away, just give it some time to dry out, and then we'll head back to the car, and that'll be the end. Been good, just have this last coffee. Well folks, that's it for this one. First solo wild camp I've ever done. Absolutely, really enjoyed it. It's absolutely brilliant, great experience. The tent's all packed away now, my rucksack's packed, and I've got to walk back down to the car. As you can see, there's absolutely no trace whatsoever that I've been here, and that's the way it should always be. So if you watched this video, thanks very much for watching. I hope you like how the channel's coming along. As always, we appreciate any subscribers, and if you've got any comments, I'll reply to them all. So thanks very much. We'll see you on the next trip, which is going to be in a sense of Blencathra via Sharp Edge. So I'm looking forward to that one. I'll see you on the next trip. Over and out. Back down to civilization and noise and cars and traffic. Got some good memories there. Lovely little place. So get back down to the pub, and hope my car's still there, and that's it.